Hey friends, welcome back to Creating Your Happy podcast. And we are starting season 2, episode 2 on trauma and let's heal together. So, last episode, the first episode of my season 2, we talked a little bit about trauma and the book that I have been reading and really learning from called How to Do the Work, and it is an amazing book. And I've learned so many things, which I'm going to kind of touch on some stuff today, what I've learned from this book. And every episode, I'm going to go through a different chapter. So if you guys want to check out this book, it's called How to Do the Work, and it's by Dr. Nicole Lepera. She's a holistic psychologist, and she is amazing and so intelligent. She has a lot of credibility. Um, Lots of schooling in her background, things like that. So I'm just going to talk about things that I learned and just kind of my take on it. And let's get started. So, on today's episode, we are going to talk about you. You are the one that has gone through trauma, bad experiences, whatever you want to call it, and you are the best healer for yourself. Like, what? I'm the best healer for myself? Yes, you are the best healer for yourself because you are the one that knows you the best. You are the one that has experienced what you have gone through, and you know the ins and outs of your trauma and your past experiences. So, why do we always look elsewhere for someone to save us or heal us? Have you ever heard that? Like, broken people find broken people kind of thing, or hurt people hurt people. We're always looking elsewhere to find somebody like us or someone that can fix us. And that's just our human nature. Sometimes we use people, sometimes we use substances to try and drown out the pain from our traumas or our past experiences. Sometimes it's alcohol, sometimes it's drugs, and sometimes it can even be food. There's all kinds of addictions that people can use, or quote unquote substances that people can use to try and, like numb our feelings, numb our pain, things like that. Some of us even look for healing in other people, relationships, and even sex. We crave that physical connection because we are human and that we are made to be with other humans. And a lot of the times we can use that in a negative way. Sometimes it can be positive, but a lot of the times, if you're broken and you're just trying to feel something, a lot of people do tend to find the physical relationships because it makes them feel something. And a lot of us have been there. Anything to drown out the trauma, the pain, all of that awful, awful feeling that we are trying to run from or overcome, we sometimes go backwards into a negative direction. Anything to give us that quote unquote high of happiness or even a tiny bit, for even a tiny bit of time. We just look for whatever we can. But what if instead of trying to mask the quote unquote symptoms of the long term pain, we don't mask them, we actually deal with them? Like, really feel the pain, understand it, and heal from it. What if we could do that instead of, just trying to find something to numb the pain? We actually dealt with it and healed from it. Wouldn't it be so much easier or better? Maybe not easier, but better in the long run for us, because honestly, it seems like an easier option to actually numb the pain, but when it comes down to it, it's just masking the symptoms, of our trauma, masking the repercussions of it, and just masking what we have to eventually deal with later on. Like I said, it's going to be easier in the time being, but it's going to be better in the long run if we actually learn how to heal from it and deal with the trauma that we are trying to cover up. In the book that I'm talking about, How to Do the Work by Nicole Lepera, she talks about how we can actually heal ourselves. We don't need others. If I've said it before. I wholeheartedly believe in therapy and things like that. And you can use that, but you can also, as well as therapy, you can deal with it yourself. You can heal yourself. But first, we have to understand ourselves. Trauma is a big thing. A lot of people, you know, have misconception of trauma, but it can be small and it can be big and it can affect you, whether it's small or big, in such a giant way, from your mind, your body, your health, everything. I mean, it can literally affect your whole entire life. Trauma can actually be stored in so many places in our body that we can't even imagine. It can cause digestive issues, anxiety, and even affect our brain. Dr. Gabate, on an addiction and trauma specialist, I probably totally just butchered his name, has written quite a bit about the deep imprints that trauma and emotional stress can leave on the structure of the brain, causing different physical and psychological illnesses that are common today in today's society, like, anxiety, depression, like some illnesses that are unexplained, like IBS and things like that. And I have IBS, and I'm telling you right now, I swear, I'm sorry if you're a doctor and you're listening to this, but I feel like it's kind of one of those things. We don't really know what's wrong with you, so we're just going to say it's this. And I've actually talked to doctors, and some doctors have confirmed that. So, I mean, nurses, lots of people have said that kind of thing. So who knows? I mean, what if my trauma, my unresolved trauma, actually caused my digestive issues? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to heal myself. And I want to take you guys along with me to heal with me and to heal yourself as well. And that's all I'm trying to do is help you heal from your past traumas, from your past relationships, from your past bad experiences. So it can affect your brain. It can also affect the structure of the brain, causing the physical and psychological problems that we have. And that brings us to the mind body connection. So if you think about it, your brain and your body, your mind and your body are obviously connected, but do you realize how connected they are? Like how much your mind can affect your body? And did you know that the mind can actually create real, measurable changes in the body? Like how they say mind over matter, it's a real thing. Like I've always said, oh, mind over matter, I can do this, mind over matter. Like it's actually a real thing. If you put your mind to it, teachers or moms or, like adult figures when you're younger, you can do whatever you put your mind to. And I've actually told my kids that. And it's actually true. It's actually a scientific proven thing. So, one of the ways that it can actually create changes in the body, the way that it's been proven, there's actually been studies using the placebo effect. If you don't know what the placebo effect is, it's just when doctors or scientists, when they're doing some kind of um, test on, let's see if these people will run faster because I tell them I'm giving them this drug that tells them they're going to run faster, that kind of thing. Or they can, they're stronger because I'm giving them this drug and it's actually a sugar pill, or they've done it, injections of saline, thinking that it's actually an injection of some kind. And that's the placebo effect. And they actually have proof from the placebo effect when people that have illnesses or some kind of sickness or anything and think that they're going to be taking medicine to cure it or to cure the symptoms, their body sends out messages to start the healing process. So, hormones, immune cells, and neurochemicals are all released. Basically, the placebo effect proves that when we believe we are going to get better or feel better, we usually do because the power of the mind. So I have always been really interested in this because I think it's so incredible to watch somebody that has an illness really overcome it. And I have talked, I think I mentioned it maybe in a couple of episodes ago, one of my relatives, my grandpa, I'm just gonna be honest. My grandpa, in June, you know, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And he's one of my favorite people in the whole world. And anybody who knows me knows that. And so when I found this out, I was destroyed. I was terrified. I was thinking the worst. Of course, my anxiety got the best of me. But he is the most positive person I've ever met with an illness. Like, he is literally the most positive person. I talked to him today. He has like 8 days left of treatment. And I'm like, how are you? I just saw him, we just visited him over Memorial Day weekend, or I'm sorry, Labor Day weekend. I always get those two confused. Um, and he was out in the lake with us, and he was just hanging out with us. And I mean, you would never know this man has cancer. Like, you would never know. He would probably be so mad that I'm even talking about it right now, because he's one of those people, like, you don't need to sympathize. You don't need to give me sympathy. You don't need to give me all this. Don't feel bad for me. He's just a very, very strong and stubborn person. So I feel like he is a perfect example of mind over body. If he were to get a diagnosis and his doctor said, okay, well, you have this, but it's treatable. That's exactly what they said. It's curable. It hasn't spread. This is probably the best case scenario. If he would have been like, oh my God, I have cancer. I'm going to die. I'm this, I'm that, and the other. I guarantee you he would not be where he's at today. He is 8 days away from treatment, and he will pretty much be cancer free. And he is the most positive, just happy person. Like, yeah, I have 8 days left and I have no symptoms, no nothing. And the doctor even said, wow, you have no symptoms at almost 80 years old and having, treatment. You have no symptoms, no throwing up, no losing weight, no nothing. I mean, he is just like normal. And to me, that is absolutely incredible. And like I said, he'd probably be mad at me that I'm talking about this on here, but I have to use him as an example because I'm so amazed by it. And I'm so, like, it's just a proof. It's proof that if you tell yourself, I'm fine, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to look at the bright side. I'm going to look at the positivity in this horrible situation. You will overcome it because your mind is so powerful. So that's just one example. But I want to do a little exercise to show you a little taste of the mind body connection that is in this book. And I'm reading word for word. So these are the author's words, not mine. But um, the mind body connection, it just shows kind of, it shows how it can actually make us feel when we close our eyes and we actually imagine this. So again, this is what the author was writing in her book. So close your eyes, picture a lemon, see its glossy yellow skin, hold it in your hands, feel its ridges, put it to your nose. Imagine the clean scent hitting your nostrils. Now imagine slicing a wedge from the lemon. Watch the juice jump out as you cut through the flesh. See the oval pits? Now put that lemon wedge to your mouth. Your lips may sting on contact. Taste the acidity, the cool citrus, the freshness. Does your mouth pucker or fill up with saliva? The mere thought of a lemon can provoke an entire sensory response. You've just experienced the mind-body connection without putting down this book. So I actually experienced a little saliva when I was talking right now and when I was reading that. So I wasn't even closing my eyes and imagining that. But how crazy is that? That we have always known that the mind body connection is real, but like that exercise just helps you really feel it and really it proves it. So the mind body connection, people don't, I guess they underestimate it, right? So if you look at it like this, I'm going to wake up every day, like I've said in my past episodes, if you've been with me through this whole journey, you're going to wake up in the morning. You're going to tell yourself, I am going to have an amazing day. I am going to have, I'm going to do this today, this today, this today. and you